question of whether Jordan Peterson believes in God has become something of a cultural Rorschach test. His audiences hear metaphors, psychology, tradition, and occasionally trembling glimpses of faith. Yet a definitive answer remains elusive. He dodges, deflects, and turns belief itself into a labyrinth. To ask whether Peterson believes in God is to invite a philosophical detective story more than a theological affirmation. Peterson often speaks of God as what you act like you believe. For him, belief is behavior, not merely assent. This pragmatist redefinition echoes William James. Belief is something lived. In interviews, he'll admit he acts as if God exists, and that this may be the most honest answer he can give. Such framing reframes belief around utility. The divine becomes less an object of worship than a compass for action. But does living as if equate to belief? Or is it a philosophical hedge, belief without surrender? Drawing from Jung, Nietzsche, and biblical myth, Peterson often locates God in the realm of archetype, a representation of order, the ideal toward which we strive. His lectures dissect the cross, the serpent, the Father, rendering them as psychological necessities. God becomes the personification of meaning, the narrative scaffolding upon which human consciousness hangs. This view can be compelling, but it raises a dilemma. If God is only symbolic, what of prayer, revelation, mystery? The symbolic view may save God from irrelevance in a secular age, but it risks draining belief of its radical dimension. Peterson's reluctance to directly affirm belief in a personal God is telling. He frequently says belief is too complex to be distilled into a yes or no. He's visibly moved when speaking of Christ, sometimes to tears. But these moments coexist with academic distancing. Such ambiguity may reflect genuine intellectual struggle. Peterson understands the cost of belief, the existential responsibility, the confrontation with suffering, the leap into mystery. Perhaps his refusal to name his belief is not evasion, but reverence, a hesitation to speak too simply about something infinitely complex. In many ways, Peterson embodies the modern seeker. He resonates with those who yearn for order in chaos, meaning in suffering, transcendence without dogma. His public wrestling with belief, his refusal to resolve it, mirrors the spiritual condition of many today. He may not believe in God in the way a mystic does, or a monk, or a child kneeling beside their bed. But he believes in belief. He sees its necessity, its power, its burden. That may not answer the question, but perhaps that's precisely the point. So, does Jordan Peterson believe in God? If belief requires absolute certainty, perhaps not. If belief begins with trembling awe, the longing for something greater, and the willingness to act as if meaning matters, then maybe yes. Peterson doesn't resolve the question because belief, in his view, may be more about living the question than reaching the answer.